Go across to NDTV's Sukirti now, who joins us from a home in Delhi. And Sukirti, tell us about what the family has to say in regard to the air pollution.
Yes, Gargi. So we are right now sitting in Delhi with Radhika Kapoor, who is one of the co-founders of the Breathe, My Right to Breathe movement. She started it last year, and we'll be speaking to her about how this Diwali has been different, or what is the effect of the ban. So, ma'am, you started this movement last year because of the kind of environmental emergency situation that was there last year. Do you really feel that the Supreme Court's ban on firecrackers has made an effect this time?
Well, I think all of us can see what we are breathing this morning. We can see it, we can taste it, and it worries me as a mother deeply, because the whole idea of the Supreme Court ban was to stop what we can see today. So obviously, all those crackers which were not meant to be burst were burst yesterday. In the morning, our levels were, I think Varun was also there at the studio, our levels were around 180. And this morning, our levels of PM 2.5 are over 1,000. This has happened over one night of irresponsible citizenship and irresponsible governance. The cops were nowhere to be found. Crackers were being burst till 12 o'clock, Naira? Crackers were being burst till 12 o'clock. No cop station responded. Friends were calling me to say, where are the cops? The cops didn't turn up. So my point is, what was the idea? The idea was to stop this. This PM 2.5, as a mother, I know is going into my child's lungs, and it cannot be taken away. Dr. Arvind Kumar has shown us that this spike in pollution, which is from 180 to 1,000, it's 2% of our entire pollution level of the whole year. In two hours or 2 days or whatever it is of Diwali, Choti Diwali, we could sit outside. Today we are scared to take our children outside. Our children need masks. Our children cannot play. And the government is watching. I mean, this is a national health emergency, and we are still discussing this. We are still debating this. This PM 2.5 is in our children's lungs forever. I ask the government, what are you doing to protect my child? This is my simple question. What are you doing to protect my child? There are people who argue that there is no ban on smoking, but smokers can do their smoking in their room. These people who are bursting crackers out there, which are going to kill us, are not doing that in their room. They're doing it in our air. And today, as a mother, I want to know, do I have to leave this country to be able to provide my child her basic right to breathe?
Right. Ma'am, on that note, we'd like to speak to Naira, who as an 11-year-old has also been a part of this movement. So Naira, what is your take on the Supreme Court's ban on firecrackers? Do you think as a child, have you been able to breathe easier this Diwali, now that this morning, right after Diwali, is it any easier for you this time?
You know, you can visually clearly see that the air today is so much worse than it was yesterday or the day before that. And my dog yesterday, he was shivering, his heart was beating, he was petrified of the noise. I could taste it, I could smell it, it burnt. It's so bad that, I mean, the Supreme Court banned the use, thinking that we as responsible citizens will probably not burn crackers, but I've got messages saying have fun lighting diyas on Diwali. We are not, this is the way our family celebrates Diwali, and we're not going to change that for you. We're going to burst crackers. And if this is happening, if we're not responsible citizens, the Supreme Court should ban crackers now, because now they know that people will not budge from their old habits. Yeah. And that's the problem. And last year we went to Dr. Arvind Kejriwal saying we want a mask-free Children's Day 2017, and we've not got
and
that.
And you don't see that.
Yeah.
Right. It's already bad. I mean, Children's Day is November 14th, and we already need masks in October, and we are still debating this. This is still discussion.
Right. So, Gargi, you see that Delhiites, you've heard their point of view, even a child's point of view, and the reaction is that despite the Supreme Court's ban, there has not been a significant impact on the air in Delhi.
Right, Sukirti, that was quite something, listening to that 11-year-old talking about the pollution levels in Delhi. And I'd like to take that to my guest here in studio. Joining me is Dr. Arvind Kumar, lung cancer surgeon, and also Barun Agarwal, CEO of Breathe Easy, that makes solutions for this pollution problem that we're seeing. But first, Doctor, I'd like to ask you, you heard what that 11-year-old had to say about the pollution levels and about how even then citizens clearly, despite the Supreme Court banning the sale of crackers, there was a lot of bursting of crackers going on, and clearly people don't realize or are rather ignoring the levels of pollution and the crisis that this is causing.
Gargi, I am actually encouraged as well as enraged at what I saw yesterday evening. The Dhanteras evening, there was pin drop silence, and we were all so happy that maybe the country is changing for the better. We are becoming more health conscious. The Choti Diwali evening was pin drop silence. Yesterday also till about 8:15, it was absolutely blissful. The air was different, you could feel the difference in the air. But around 8:15, I think when puja was over, people came out, and from wherever they had procured the crackers were burst. Probably in quantity they were less than they were last year. Nonetheless, they were enough to turn that breathable air of yesterday's daytime into almost breathlessness causing air this morning. And this is despite ban by the Honorable Supreme Court and a huge amount of educational awareness work done by TV channels, radio stations, various organizations, My Right to Breathe, Lung Care Foundation, all these agencies. We had put out the video. That video had been seen by lakhs of people. More than 20 lakh people have then seen that video with pink lung and black lung, and people said they are touched by it, they are scared of it. But somehow, I don't know, despite that, how could they go out and just for a few minutes or few hours of pleasure cause so irreversible damage to your lungs? I fail to understand and how pleasure can be more important than your health and health of your children. Couple of places I saw people holding toddlers in their hand and bursting crackers. They are so oblivious, so ignorant about the damage it's causing. So they are actually poisoning their own children and still having fun. I don't know what kind of fun it is. I can see you've come with one of your devices, and as Dr. Kumar was saying, he's quite enraged by the amount of crackers being burst. And just 2 days ahead of Diwali, in fact, the government took certain actions within Delhi. The thermal power plant was shut down, diesel generators were banned. But so what is the reading this morning? So let me put it into perspective, exactly what Dr. Kumar said just now. The numbers were very different at 5 o'clock in the evening yesterday. This is a dust track which measures real-time readings of particulate matter down to 2.5 microns and smaller in size. And we were getting readings of about 160, 170 micrograms per cubic meter. Still not very good, because the safe limit as per CPCB is about 60 micrograms per cubic meter. But hourly from 6 p.m. it started deteriorating, and we went up to 200 to 300 to 400, and by 1 o'clock, by 1:30 at night in central Delhi, we were at 505 micrograms. And this morning, by 7:30 in the morning, we were at 1010 micrograms per cubic meter. 1010, and the WHO limit is? The WHO safe limit annual average exposure should be under 10, and this is a class 1 carcinogen that produces cancer. So 10 and 1010, that's the difference. And there was a complete dispersion of the air over Delhi overnight. Between 1 o'clock and 7, there weren't that many fireworks, and all the fireworks in the different areas of Delhi, the smoke from there dispersed across the rest of Delhi, because there's movement towards cleaner areas, and greener parts of Delhi actually get fairly more polluted than other parts of Delhi by early morning. So the numbers were off the charts. I would still say slightly better than last year. Some of the peaks we saw last year. Which is clearly not good news. I mean, it means nothing, because it's still so high that it really doesn't matter whether it's, absolutely. From a health impact marginally less. Absolutely. From a health impact perspective, it's very clear that unless we get it down below 50, we are not going to see the gains from a health perspective that we should be seeing for our entire population. And you're reading 1,000 right now on your Inside the studio, it won't be that high, because I'm sure there are some filters. Okay, that's good to know. But yes, we do have air purifiers in our office. As many people in Delhi now, it's just become part and parcel of our lives to have air purifiers. Now, Doctor, the Supreme Court order about banning the sale of crackers was taken as many as interference in religion, interference in the way they celebrate Diwali. So what is your message to those people? Maybe some are watching, because I've seen a lot of tweets about people saying that I burst crackers and, Gargi, this whole thing about making it religious was absolutely ridiculous. I am a devout Hindu. I read Holy Ramayana regularly, and I have quoted this on your channel earlier also, that Uttarkand part of Ramayana, which talks about Lord Rama's return to Ayodhya after his 14 years of exile and the celebration thereafter, which is actually the beginning of Deepavali, talks about flowers, leaves, itra, these kind of stuff. It doesn't talk about crackers at all. Crackers were never a part of Deepavali as originated during the Ramayana time. It was added during the Mughal invasion in our country. And let's look at it purely from health perspective. When there is toxic smoke, it does not see the religion of the person before entering into the lung. So whether it's a Hindu lung, Christian lung, Muslim lung, Sikh lung, whatever lung, toxins damage lungs equally across religions. So where is the religious issue in this? It's a pure, as Barun said, it's a national health emergency. When you have citizens being exposed to 1000 micrograms of PM 2.5, in which there are so many cancer causing agents. I have said it on your channel yesterday also, that the number of non-smoker lung cancer patients is rising. 50% of my lung cancer patients today are non-smokers. So we are having a few hours of fun and giving ourselves whole lot of diseases from asthma to lung cancer.
All right, and Barun, you know, again, people also say that it's just one day, it's just Diwali, that, you know, so what is the big deal? There are lots of other things that need to be done, because there are the farm fires that cause pollution here, there's the vehicular pollution, there's various other issues that are causing pollution in Delhi. And what would you say to that?
I completely agree with that. This is not a one-trick pony. We've got a long battle ahead of us, and
but then if people who are saying, why are you stopping us from bursting crackers this one day, how does it make a difference?
Drops of water make an ocean. Every single bit that we do to help us reduce the exposure to particulate matter makes a big difference. And one more point I want to make, Gargi, short-term periodic exposure of such high levels, there's enough science that says that every 10 microgram per cubic meter increased exposure leads to higher mortality through cardiovascular diseases or risk, and through respiratory diseases. So 10 micrograms leads to 0.39% higher mortality. You can imagine what 1010 is doing to us.
One more point, if I may add.
So that exposure, even at this high level over this 2-3 day period,
it's not about few hours of exposure. You see, this few hours of cracker bursting, as Barun said, leads to a 2% rise in the annual average. That's number one. Number two, whatever toxins go inside your lungs during this couple of hours, they don't leave the lungs.
It stays for
and
a few days, in fact.
They are there permanently forever, and they are going to cause you damage. And mind you, these are mostly heavy metals. There is a cesium, there is mercury, there is lead, there is sulfur. These are most deadly toxins which you deposit into your lung. So it's not a 6 hours of pollution and then there is absolute blissful air. 6 hours of deposition in the lung means continuing lifelong damage.
All right, and those particles stay in the air
over
the next
lungs.
couple of days.
They don't clear
as well in the Delhi
They
air,
keep
like we're seeing this
collecting
morning.
there, and they have a cumulative toxic effect.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Kumar, for joining us and telling our viewers about this, and Varun as well for telling us about how high the levels are of pollution. Is just shocking at 1000 levels. Just tell that to our viewers again. It's at 1000 the level of pollution, which should actually be 10 according to the World Health Organization.